What's going on, everybody? As you can see here, we are dealing with another red day for the Bitcoin miners. Across the board, we are looking at red. Hopefully you guys are taking advantage of it. Today is another day to do so. I just had to kick down my mortgage and property taxes, so I'm pretty broke right now. But let me know what you guys are buying in the comments below. Now in this video, we're going to look over what's going on with the spot Bitcoin and spot Ethereum ETFs. We're going to look at some Elon Musk news. And if you guys remember last cycle, Tesla announcing buying Bitcoin was a huge catalyst that brought a rally. And a later announcement that Tesla was selling pretty much marked the top of that cycle. We did have a double top though. I believe that marked the first top. And I was also wrong about Mt. Gox. I told you guys that 2/3 of the creditors have been repaid. Apparently it's a little less than half, so I apologize for that. This is just a reminder to always do your own research. Don't believe what one person on the internet says. Cross-examine the information. But anyways, let's get started. Let's first off look at this Elon Musk news. And this is a crazy title. Elon Musk suddenly breaks his silence on Bitcoin after issuing a shock US dollar destruction warning that could trigger a crypto price boom. That's a tongue twister. That took like 5 tries. Elon Musk, we know who Elon Musk is, has mostly steered clear of Bitcoin and crypto comments following the crash in 2022. You guys remember? You know, believe it or not, guys, it mentions nothing about the dollar destruction thing. So I'll leave a different article down below that cites that. Kind of weird that this article mentions that and then doesn't even mention the dollar destruction part. But as for the crypto part, Elon Musk said, I do think there's some merit in Bitcoin and maybe some other crypto. I've sort of got a soft spot for the meme-based Bitcoin rival Doge because I like dogs and memes. And they also mentioned the last cycle pump from Tesla. Musk helped the Bitcoin price surge into 2021, pulling Dogecoin and the wider crypto market with it when he added $1.5 billion worth of Bitcoin to Tesla's balance sheet. However, the price soon after crashed when he first rolled back plans to accept Bitcoin as payment and then began selling the majority of that Bitcoin to eke out a profitable quarter back in 2022. Tesla does still hold almost 10,000 Bitcoin, worth about $650 million. Now, as for the dollar destruction part, I'll leave that article down below under the other one. But basically what he says about that is where we are with dollar value destruction, you might ask. Well, America is going bankrupt. And this is the actual post about dollar destruction that these articles are citing. Where are we with dollar value destruction, you might ask? We are right here. And check this out. Michael Hartnett, the chief strategist of Bank of America, wrote that the US national debt is rising by $1 trillion every 100 days. It's little wonder debt debasement trades such as gold and Bitcoin are closing in on all-time highs. And he also predicted that the newly created spot Bitcoin ETFs, well, they've taken Wall Street by storm over the last few months, and they're still on course for a blowout year, in part because of the collapse of the US dollar. Now, do you guys think Elon Musk is going to announce something big that's going to cause Bitcoin to pop? Or do you think Bitcoin's a little too large now that it's not going to respond as much as it did last cycle to posts from Elon Musk, to mentions of buying Bitcoin from individual companies? Or do you think a whole another company is going to mention something that causes a big rise for Bitcoin? I do think Michael Saylor and friends are going to sway Elon Musk into more of a Bitcoiner. I think he's a smart guy, and at the right time he is going to announce that Tesla bought Bitcoin, and they're going to enjoy the meat of this rally. But that's just my speculation. Maybe they avoid Bitcoin entirely this cycle. I think it would be a bit foolish of them to ignore it. But we will definitely hear over the next 6 months to a year of companies buying Bitcoin, and other companies will follow suit because they'll see the success that that brings. Until, of course, things come crashing down in the future bear market. Next up, let's talk about what's going on with Mt. Gox. So according to this article, over 41.5% of the distribution has been completed, and despite receiving this $4 billion of Bitcoin, which has appreciated over 8,500%. That's just insane. On-chain analysis shows that the creditors continue to hold their assets. And despite receiving nearly $4 billion worth of Bitcoin, the Mt. Gox creditors are not selling, according to a July 29 Glassnode report. Creditors opted to receive Bitcoin rather than fiat, which was new in Japanese bankruptcy law. As such, it is relatively likely that only a subset of these distributed coins will be truly sold onto the market. And check this out as well. While Glassnode notes that its theory rests on some degree of speculation, underlying data from Kraken shows that there's no significant uptick in selling. Well, there is an uptick, but it's typical in day-to-day ranges. It's very marginal. We can see a marginal uptick in sell-side pressure following the distribution. However, this remains well within day-to-day range. Make sure you guys check out that article. I'll leave it down below for you. There are a few things I don't go over that are quite interesting there, so make sure you check it out. It'll be the first link down below. Also, what did we see Monday from the spot Bitcoin ETFs? We did see some inflow. On Monday, the 11 spot Bitcoin ETFs garnered 124 million in inflows, mainly by IBIT, which drew in 205 million, while other funds experienced net outflows. Greyscale's GBTC saw 54 million leave the fund, Bitwise lost 21, and Fidelity FBTC saw a $5 million reduction. But look at this, with BlackRock's recent flows, they're now approaching the 350,000 Bitcoin mark. They are now holding more than 1/3 of a million of Bitcoin, $22.7 billion. Do you guys remember when we were talking about GBTC and IBIT flipping back when they were like 18 to $20 billion? In that short amount of time, that was like a month, 2 months ago. In that short amount of time, BlackRock is working its way towards $25 billion in assets under management. It won't take much longer, and soon IBIT will have 1 million Bitcoin in assets under management. And soon this is going to be more and more of an issue. Obviously right now it's seen as a positive because we're seeing all this inflow, this money coming into Bitcoin. At some point it'll be seen as a negative to know that BlackRock's IBIT has 10% of the overall Bitcoin supply, 20%, so on and so forth as time goes by. So there is something to be said, about the decentralization of Bitcoin and how this fund is going to continue to build up their Bitcoin. Essentially, it's going to get more and more centralized, which we really don't want in the end. I suppose that is the necessary evil when you invite Wall Street in or when Wall Street takes over. But I do believe it is a net positive that Wall Street is adopting crypto. It is not going away. It is not getting banned. It is an investment product. And the risk has gotten substantially lower as time goes by. Now, we did see outflows from the spot Ethereum ETF on Monday, and let's expect that this sell side pressure could subside very soon. The Ethereum ETF net outflow is yet to subside, but it's likely that it'll happen this week. When it does, it's only up from here. The Bitcoin ETF outflows subsided significantly following the 11th trading session. So what happens once we move past the peak of these Greyscale outflows? Take a guess. After the GBTC outflows bottomed out, Bitcoin proceeded to rip approximately 92% in 50 days. In contrast, the Greyscale's Ethereum ETF was sold much faster than GBTC and has already reached 17% in just 4 days, with a shallower overall pullback on the price of ETH relative to Bitcoin at the time. That's interesting. Now I have the day that the spot Bitcoin ETFs went live for you right here. You'll see that we did initially see a pullback. If you guys remember that, it wasn't that long ago. It wasn't that long ago. We had an initial pullback. Buy the rumor, sell the news. Everyone was like, oh great, Wall Street controls it now. It's over. Sell now. Wall Street's going to just manipulate the crap out of Bitcoin. It's done. Well, what happened? It bottomed out here like a week later and went on to rally, went on to go absolutely crazy. From the bottom, it ran about 80-90% in under 60 days. We did have that initial cool down, that initial sell pressure from GBTC, and we have been seeing Ethereum cool down a bit. Perhaps we come down towards our support level, which would be fantastic. It'd be wonderful to be able to scoop up some Ethereum under $3,000 once more. I do think time's limited there if we even do see under 3,000 again. And I do think soon Ethereum will break out of this descending trend. And once we do that, we are going to go on to rally and hit our 52-week high, in my opinion. And cracking new all-time highs, I think, will come in the new year. Now, I'm zoomed in on the hourly for you guys. You can see we're following this clear uptrend. Once we break this, we might see some lower prices if we do break it. Patterns are made to be broken. So, keep in mind, if we do break this pattern, I do think the market will react, and we might see some lower prices get back to the, low 3,000s, 3,200, 3,100. That would be a fantastic time to take advantage on any Bitcoin weakness, any more Mt. Gox sell pressure. If Bitcoin falls, Ethereum will likely fall. Take advantage of it. But let me know what you guys think about this Elon Musk news. Is there a chance that some big announcement comes from Tesla regarding Bitcoin and we see another pump fueled by Tesla, sort of like the last cycle? I find it unlikely. I think any announcements from Tesla regarding Bitcoin will hold less weight than they did last cycle. We're definitely in a much different environment now. Also, let me know what Bitcoin miners you're buying. Today is definitely a fantastic day to do so. I do think, as we get announcements that Mt. Gox creditors have received their funds, once more and more have received their funds, and once it gets towards the end, I do think the bottom will have already been in. Honestly, I think that 55K was the bottom for Bitcoin. But, you got to take advantage of any fear because soon the Mt. Gox sell pressure will be gone. Soon GBTC will be done with outflows, and those that will have wanted to sell will sell. And the market never tells you when you want to buy necessarily. You typically want to buy when things are still fearful. Take advantage before things get euphoric. Thanks again for watching, guys. I appreciate you, and I'll see you on the next one.